Good afternoon and welcome everyone to a Division I softball tournament matchup between the Goffstown Grizzlies and the Concord Crimson Tide. My name is Scott Gross and I'm joined by Nate Bracey today. Welcome, Nate.
Hello, happy to be here.
So at the batter's box is Jalen Wessling, and she takes a first pitch ball. So again, Goffstown's coming in, Nate, as the 4 seed here, and looks like Concord is what, the 12 seed?
Yeah, 4-12. So Concord had an upset in the first round, right? The dreaded 5-12. They found themselves on the lucky side of that one.
Yes, unfortunately, the scoreboard here at Goffstown has bit the dust. And we're going to be calling out balls and strikes as we go. And I think we got a 2-1 count here to Wessling. And Sophie Roussel in the circle for the Grizzlies. Really been the pitcher for most of the year for Goffstown.
I mean, more than 1 year, right?
Yeah.
So quite the career for her.
Yeah, she surpassed 300 strikeouts last game. An accomplishment in and of itself, and she'll be headed to Assumption College next year.
Great Division II school.
So Wessling took a breather there from the batter's box. She enters with a 2-2 count. Ooh. Goes to 3-2. So on defense at first base, Riley Boucher, LeClaire at second, Gerzone at shortstop, and Derry at third. Fouled off.
Keeps it alive.
Tough at bat for Wessling here. Behind the plate's Emma LeClaire. And we'll do the outfield in just a second here. So we got a 3-2 count coming up. Fouled off once again. So the outfield has in left field Casey Rivard, center field is Ari Gerzone, and in right field Dana Still. Popped up out of play. And almost a nice catch by the Concord Crimson Tide fan, but not so much. He drops it.
It's a tough one.
That could be foreshadowing.
Luckily, it's not the Savannah Bananas, right?
True.
That would have counted.
So Wessling, not for nothing, but she's going deep into this pitch count here. Ooh. And that's hit sharply to second base to LeClaire. Throws over to Boucher for the first out of the game.
Great way to start that inning off.
And that's one thing I've noticed about this Grizzly team. Really good defense for the most part. Not to jinx them, but they played pretty nicely in the field. So Andy Morera steps in. She's playing right field for the Crimson Tide. A lefty.
You see a little slap bunt? What do you think?
Could be. That's why you've got Derry coming in at third base. So she takes strike one. So Derry's playing a good, probably a good 5-6 steps in, guarding against that bunt. And even LeClaire's playing in almost like a position where she could almost attack the bunt.
Yeah. No, if anything through the infield is going right? There's not a lot of space.
So if anything, LeClaire is going for the bunt more so than Boucher. And that's now strike 2 against Morera, I should say.
1-2 count?
Yeah, 1-2 count to Morera. Look at the center field, Gerzone playing way in. Popped up behind us. And Brad was even quick on that one. His reflex is cat-like for a man who has celebrated 8 decades, which is amazing in and of itself. But Brad, cat-like reflexes. Oh, that one looked good, but the umpire says no way, Jose.
Might have been a little higher outside. So we're even now, 2-2?
2-2. Very much an open stance for Morera. Outside, so she takes it a full count. So this is the only downside here. So they're making her work.
Yep.
This reminds me of like the old like Red Sox Yankees
little
games.
small ball situation.
Well, no, but just a lot of pitches going deep into a lot of.
I mean, that's our second batter, second full
deep
count.
into the count. Yeah, and she takes it. So looks like there's some speed.
I would think.
Here.
I would think.
So let's see if they play small ball here with Maggie Taylor coming in.
So Maggie's the center fielder?
She is the center fielder. Now Derry goes back to normal depth, and now the outfield goes deep.
Deep, deep.
Deep, deep.
And this is your cleanup hitter, too.
Let's see if they try to steal here. And that's a strike down the middle to Taylor.
It's good to get a first pitch strike in the situation, so.
And I think if you're going to get to Roussel, you got to get to her a little bit early. I think she gets stronger as the game goes on.
Yeah, it appears as if.
Change
right?
up, but barely misses. Good idea, though, by Roussel.
Once she gets in the groove, it's hard to find anything on her.
I agree. So. But from the games that I've called, like she clearly gets stronger in those middle innings and onward.
Ooh. High.
2-1 count to Taylor. Runner at first base is Marrero. Nice crowd here in Goffstown. It's a 55-degree day, overcast.
You know what, though? It's not 90. It's not raining. So I think we take what we get.
It looks like
ooh. So our third batter, third full count?
Third batter, third full count. And again, like I said before, if you're going to get to this Goffstown team, get to them early if you can. We got one out here in the top of the first, and that is a foul ball. But you are right. I mean, she's pitched probably a good 20 pitches almost.
I mean, we had 2 or 3 foul offs on the first at bat, so we got to be up there.
Yeah. So Maggie Taylor with a 3-2 count, runner at first in Marrera. Hit sharply through the hole with a base hit single by Maggie Taylor, with now runners at first and second base for the Crimson Tide as they threaten in the top of the first.
It's a good piece of hitting. Not much you're going to do there defensively.
So now the catcher comes up. Kylie Taylor with a run in scoring position. Got Goffstown's defense almost at the warning track, although you can't really see warning track. It's kind of like grass.
The warning grass, yeah.
The warning grass.
Yeah. The clippings.
So we got a force out at first, second, or third.
Oh.
Safe. She's safe. Just
it's tough.
That was a quick little, that was almost like a little bit of a bobble.
Yep.
By Gerson.
Fielded it cleanly, but then couldn't transfer from glove to hand.
It was sharply hit. And now we're going to get a pinch runner for the catcher. So now we've got the bases loaded.
Only one down.
One down. Tess Bolduc, number 2. First baseman steps in. Infield is playing in for the Grizzlies. Again, looking for that force out at home.
Yeah, they're trying to limit damage
But
here.
the outfield is playing at, again, pretty far depth.
There's a lot of space between your middle infielders and those outfielders, so a little bit of room to work if you get a fly ball.
I would agree. So tough spot for the Grizzlies here in the top of the first with the bases loaded. And she puts one by Bolduc, and I think that's where she's just got to kind of calm down. This is obviously last, game here at Goffstown High School for the seniors.
And I think
you always have a little bit of knots in your stomach.
I think you nailed it, though, with senior. Ooh.
Base hit up the middle. That's going to score 2. You don't want to throw home on that. Whoa.
You maybe do. Oh,
safe,
just missed
no
the tag.
So it's a quick 2-0 lead. And now runners still at first and second base with another hit right up the middle. And, that one, I wasn't sure if Roussel could have stabbed that one. It was a really sharply hit ball.
Hard hit.
So now Ella Gray steps in, the second baseman. Again.
Great pitch.
Now the infield is playing at regular depth.
I mean, I think you try to turn 2 here if you can, right?
You do, but I mean, you want to get at least one run here, kind of stop the bleed.
Yep. I do think
foul ball out of play.
The benefit of having 5 seniors starting in terms of they've seen a little bit before.
Yeah, I mean, I don't
Nerves
think
are probably a little calmer.
I don't think that, if you look back at the runs that Goffstown has put on the board, I don't think 2 runs is going to scare you off.
I would agree. I would agree.
And that's a quick strikeout by Roussel.
So now we're at 2 outs. Not
2
that
outs
place.
with Bailey Casson coming in. And the other thing, too, is that what this is going to show you is that you got to figure through that 1 through 5 batting order, they're going to be tough, this Concord team.
Right.
And
strongest spots right there.
From my look, I reviewed the matchups, common matchups between these 2 teams regular season. This is going to be, even though it says it's a 4 versus 12 seed, it's kind of even.
Yep.
So a strike.
No, I think in the regular season
Casson.
you're looking at a lot of closer games,
yeah.
right? Sometimes you get on the lucky side, sometimes you're on the unlucky side, and that can make a big difference.
And I don't, don't get me wrong. I think when you take a look at what happened already in the tournament with, in my opinion, clearly Wyndham was the number 2 seed and probably was the second best team in Division I softball, but they got beaten by BG. So fouled sharply out of play to the third base side. So with that, but it's all about single elimination tournament. So, one pitcher has a strong dominant game or bats or awake, bats are asleep. That's all it takes.
Yep. And Concord had a pretty dominant performance against Winnicott in that 12-5 matchup. So
that ball is lofted to center field, and under it is Gerzone, and that will do it, but not before the Crimson Tide put up a 2 spot and take a 2-0 lead over the Goffstown Grizzlies heading into the bottom of the first. We'll be right back. And we're back for the bottom of the first, and Nate, kind of a big inning for the Crimson Tide, putting up 2, and it could have been a lot worse.
Yes. Bases loaded with one out.
And again, it wasn't as if it was, just errors. I mean, quite honestly, yeah, it was a walk, but those were clearly hard hit balls. I mean, even that ball to the shortstop, to Gerzone,
I'm not sure if she fields that cleanly. I'm not even sure. It's close play either way.
It's a really close play either way. The runner at second base had a good jump on it. So Jocelyn O'Meara will step in as the leadoff hitter for the Grizzlies, and we got a really loud Grizzly bench.
It's nice to see that.
Yep. So O'Meara's been hitting well in this latter part of the season. Let's see what she can do here. And she takes a strike.
Hard pitch. Throwing some heat in there.
So Bailey Casson is the pitcher for the Crimson Tide. And that is a ball, a 1-1 count. Kylie Taylor will be behind the plate for Concord. And we'll go through the defense for Concord in just a second. So Amira with a 1-1. Swings through that one. Tess Bolduc is at first base. At second base is Ella Gray. At shortstop, Cam Dubois. And Wessling is your third baseman.
We've got an even count now, 2-2.
2-2 count. And takes it to a 3-2. A lot of full counts here. In the outfield, in left field is Avery McDonald, center field Maggie Taylor, and Andy Morera playing right field.
You know, fans are going to get their money's worth today. Going to watch a lot of softball if we keep going full counts.
And O'Meara, what a great at-bat by O'Meara. She draws a walk.
So important to get a runner on early.
Yeah. Gerzone needs to just be patient, I think. You know, she's a real good hitter, but she's tempted sometimes to go first pitch.
Yeah. Let her work a little bit, right? Let the pitcher get some pitches under her belt first.
Exactly.
Oh, shows bunt. Oh, no.
That's disaster. That is disaster for Goffstown.
So you got to get that bunt down. You can't let it pop up.
So a double play for the Crimson Tide. Kind of takes the air out of that balloon.
So our next batter is going to be our pitcher, Sophie Russell.
Now you'll cry if she hits a dinger and hits it right out, right?
That'd be tough. You know, I think, though, they have done a great job of overcoming mistakes and obstacles.
Yeah.
So, you know, you're not going to let yourself get beat in the first inning.
No, and I think it's a good idea to try to move the runners along. It just wasn't executed, and that happens.
It happens. It's high school.
Hey, happens at the pro level.
Correct.
I think that's half the problem, Nate, is that, you know, people sometimes hold high school athletes to the standard of like collegiate or pro athletes. I mean, these are 15, 16, 17, 18-year-olds, and kind of an unfair way to put it.
Correct. And it's not like the pitcher wants you to get that bunt down, right? They're going to do everything they can to make it hard for you. So
Russell is just looking for one to hit, and so far hasn't gotten anything. Oh, she was up on a change-up. Yeah. So speaking of Russell, she was honored with first-team Division I accolades, All-State.
That's impressive.
Yeah. First team,
Deserving.
So congratulations to her, and that's going to be a strike three. So she K's on that one, and nice job by Bailey Casson, who she had a first at-bat walk, but then got a little fortuitous for them where it was a bunt right to the first baseman and doubled up O'Meara, and then obviously a check swing strikeout.
Yeah,
so we'll be back in a few for the top of the second inning. And we're back for the top of the second inning with the Crimson Tide leading 2-0.
Be nice to see a quick 1-2-3 inning here.
And Natalie Rowell takes strike one. So like I said before, I think, having watched, Roussel pitch, I mean, you've got to get her in these first couple innings. If not, she's too tough. And quick strike two.
Start some heat in there.
Well, I think for her, she gets warmed up. She also gets like a level of like toughness, and like she is really difficult to hit in those mid and late innings. Ooh, that one looked.
I'm not sure where that missed.
It must have been on the outside part of the plate. It looked good from a height perspective up here.
Yeah, we have a bad angle.
But,
in terms of
you're not getting paid the $85 fee to umpire behind the plate, so it doesn't matter anyway. So Roussel strikes out Rowell for the first out of the inning, and now in comes number 4, Avery McDonald, your left fielder.
Well, lefty.
Another lefty, and she swings through that one.
Showed bunt first.
Yeah, that's a good idea because if you show, it pulls both third and first in, and
gives you a little more room.
And she takes strike two. This is what I was saying. Like for Roussel, she's tough. I mean,
yeah,
you're not going to a Division II school playing softball if you're not mentally tough.
A little high.
But I like that pitch because you do want them to chase it.
Correct.
I call it a garbage pitch.
Now you set up what you're going next.
I go off speed here, but let's see. To Derry. Quickly over to Boucher.
All right.
Again, Derry, I cannot say enough about how well she's played third base this year. Just as super accurate arm, just so efficient.
Consistent?
Yep. And now, top of the order, Jalen Westling, who grounded out to the second baseman in her first at bat. But she went deep.
She did.
What?
She did.
8 pitches, right?
Yes. And that was the off-speed pitch you were looking for in the last at bat. She held on to it for you.
Now, what you can't see from our angle, from our camera, though, is the sophistication of what Roussel is trying to accomplish here. It's change-ups, fastballs, inside, outside, low, high. Like, she's pitching to all parts of the plate to keep the batters as honest as possible.
It's a chess match.
Yep.
So 0-2 count?
0-2. And that will do it. A 1-2-3 inning for Roussel. Just what the doctor ordered as we head into the bottom of the second inning.
That's going to give you some confidence.
All right, we're in the bottom of the second inning with the cleanup hitter for Goffstown, Dana Still, and she has crushed the ball this year on various occasions. So let's see what we can do here.
She swings hard every chance she can.
I had a dream that she hit a home run, by the way. So, again, they don't call me Grostradamus for nothing.
I don't think anyone calls you that.
They do. They have called me that. I have these visions. So you're going to see. And you're going to be like, What the heck? But it's okay.
I tried predicting it last time, and she warning track flied out. So I'm going to keep my mouth shut on that one.
All right.
I don't want to jinx her
1-1 count
again.
to Still. Nice crowd here in Goffstown.
Yeah, no, there's good. There's, I think, a decent amount of students on the left field side, too.
Ooh, way out ahead of that one. So a beautiful changeup. Still smiling.
She knew she
Or
got
she's
beat on
still
that one.
smiling after that one. That's a good set of pitching there by Casson. Sharply hit to third. Over to first to retire.
Great job by
Still.
the third baseman. Routine play.
Yeah, nice job by number 18. That was B. Wessling.
So Casey Rivard, our designated player.
Yes, she is.
Ooh, that didn't miss by much.
That's one thing, too, that's, for those who haven't followed, like softball, much different also than baseball in terms of designated player, flex player. Like there's a lot of, are you playing in the field and not hitting? Are you
Yeah, the rules are not
They are
as
different.
similar as one might think without going into depth with it.
Nice pitch.
Big swing.
I will tell you, Bailey Casson has come to play. There's
She's
no
pitching
doubt
hard.
about it. Yep.
Throwing that ball with some gusto.
Fouled off to stay alive is Rivard.
1-2, I think?
Yep, 1-2 count. I believe you're right.
With
we don't have the
1
benefit
out.
of a scoreboard here, folks. So
Yeah.
if we get one wrong here or there, don't pick on us.
Oh, off-speed stuff.
That is a beautiful pitch by Casson. You got to give credit where credit's due here. She is, but this is what can sometimes happen in these single elimination tournaments where you go up against someone who just pitches lights out.
Yep.
That
has a game of their life. And she's pitching really well so far.
LeClaire steps in with 2 outs in the bottom of the second, fouls it off the roof, upper deck roof.
That is not coming down. Middle infield's deep. Corners are a little playing up.
Grounder to second base, backhanded, nice play, overthrow. But this is exactly what happens sometimes, where
how do you recover from the mistake?
you get a little bit, right, so it's an error on the second baseman, which then lands LeClaire at first.
And is that Addie Grzone now batting? So you have speed on first, you have speed at the plate. 2 outs?
2 outs. So Ella Gray with an overthrow. That leaves LeClaire at first with 2 outs to Addie Grzone, the shortstop. And she
Off-speed stuff to
off
start
speed,
the
yeah. So this is what I was talking
at-bat.
about, exactly what Roussel was doing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Fastball, changeup, high, low. This is what playoff softball is all about.
Ooh.
Those were 2 tough swings right
Yes.
there.
Yes.
She's got to settle down a little bit.
Be nice to keep this inning alive right now.
High.
Catcher fakes a throw to first, but definitely nothing there.
Two strike count.
1 ball, 2 strikes.
Yeah, on Grzone here, the shortstop. In the dirt, stopped by the catcher.
Counts even.
And what we don't know, again, is I've not seen any of Concord's games, is, is Casson a pitcher who gets, more tired as so that everyone has, we know what Roussel does just based upon past practice. fouled off sharply.
Woo.
Off the garbage can. I tell you, we put those nets up over the last 5 years. Good move.
Smart move.
Yeah.
Just not worth the risk.
Yeah. And down goes Gerzon with a K. So 2 strikeouts. That's her 3rd of the game for Casson.
Great pitching.
So Goffstown trails 2-0 to the Crimson Tide as we head to the top of the 3rd. Back in a few. And we're back here in Goffstown, top of the 3rd inning with the Crimson Tide leading 2-0 with Andy Marrera, number 9.
She walked her first at bat.
She did and scored.
That first run, yeah.
So she takes strike 1. And again, kind of a funky defense with her at the plate. Hits it to the shortstop. Quick throw.
Had to have a quick throw.
Yeah, nice job by Gerzon, showing off her strong arm.
So our first out.
So a 6-3 put out by the Grizzlies for the first out of the inning, and Maggie Taylor. And Maggie had a hit up the middle, I believe.
Hard hit.
A very hard hit.
At the pitcher.
Change up to the shortstop.
Oh.
Will she stay with it? And she doesn't, and then she sails it. So that'll be an error for Gerzon.
And they're giving her the
They're
pass.
going to give her
because
because it hit the net.
Yep.
Yeah. So that's a difficult one for the Grizzlies.
Yep.
So that's an error.
Fielding error and throwing error.
Right.
It's tough. I think as hard as you want to get that out, I think you just got to eat that ball there. There's no way you're making it a first and 10.
Sometimes lost on things, freshman shortstop, right?
Yep.
So
yeah, no, that's a tough position to play.
Sometimes we lose track of that. One of the most difficult positions to play in softball, and you have a freshman who has excelled.
Yes,
that's a strike.
Nice breaking ball there.
Now, here's what you want to do. We want to watch to see if number 2 leaves early. She can only go in the release.
Foul ball.
Fouled out of play. And this is what happened, if I'm not mistaken, before 13 got a great jump on the ball. The ball was hit to the shortstop.
Oh, yeah.
And she went to third. This is where sometimes you want to talk it up. And this is where, again, it takes it's a stressful position playing shortstop. Same type of play. You might want to throw it to first.
Right, yeah, you don't know if you have that
go
time.
because you got to get a tag.
It's not
out.
A force at third
right.
time. So it's a 1-2 count now, I think.
So Kylie Taylor, the catcher, with a 1-2 count. Maggie Taylor at second base reached on an error. And that's a strikeout.
Wow.
For the second out of the inning.
I think that ball dropped into the outside corner.
Yeah, and Tess Bolduc. So Tess Bolduc had a big hit, which drove in. I'm sorry. Yeah, she had a big hit in that top of the first.
She get both runs, both RBIs.
I believe so, because it was bases loaded.
Yes.
So, yeah.
That was a really nice pitch right there on the inside corner for their first strike. Oh,
in the dirt.
Bounces it.
And,
Runner's going.
all right. I would have eaten that one if I'm the catcher, because if that ball gets ahead, it's another run scores. And you got to be smart here. She backhanded that one, too. So runner now with third.
Again, another freshman behind the plate. Right?
Don't worry about, like, I think in that situation, that's all distraction softball. You know, like, if you're the catcher, just focus in. She's not stealing home.
And you got 2 outs, so worry about the one that matters the most right here.
You got it. Oh. I don't think there's a whole lot of danger. You know, if you walk Bolduc, who got a hit, that's not a whole lot. I don't think that's a bad thing. You struck out Ella Gray.
Okay.
So, in my opinion, you pitch around this one.
Yeah, you got 2 bases to give up right now.
Yeah, I'm good with this. Like, that's a smart play. Sometimes, whether it be the pitcher who's making this call or the coaches, that is not a bad move, in my opinion.
You know, if you can get an easy out there, you take it, but there's no need to force the pitch in there to hope to.
Ella Gray, your second baseman, she struck out in her first at bat, and this, from what I could see, there's disparity between the top 5. Again, I don't think you need this. Like, I'm just going to say it. Like, there is no need to throw to third.
Yeah, the theatrics are not necessary.
There is none, because the advantages. The opportunity, I should say, to get
probably
a
not
tag out is like 5%. Your chances of an overthrow are 20%. That ball is going to be
going foul and just barely out of play.
Yeah, was almost on that.
It's close.
And again, like, you have a strikeout, and you now have a hitter who has swung so late on the ball. Okay, so if you're Gerzone.
And she's 0-2.
I think you're the center fielder. You want to shade a little bit over to right field. If you're the shortstop, shade a little bit over to the second base side. And it's a strikeout. It does not matter.
That'll end the inning. Well, the half inning at least.
You know, I tell you, sometimes coaches get blamed for stuff when the bats are sleepy, when there's throwing errors. But on that one, I think you give the coaching staff some credit there. They pitched around and they walked someone who got a hit and drove in 2 runs to then strike out again.
No, you work around the batters you need to worry about.
I think you got to give a little credit to the coaching
staff. Or the
staff.
Scouting ahead of time or in-game adjustments.
Sometimes coaches do the right thing.
On occasion.
Yeah,
on occasion. Rarely it happens.
All right, we'll be back in a few. And we're back for the bottom of the third inning with the Grizzlies trailing 2-0 to the Crimson Tide. Third baseman Sophia Derry will step in. And like I said before, just a very, very reliable third baseman for the Grizzlies.
It'd be nice to see us get a little bit more confidence on the offensive side this half inning.
Yeah, you got to generate some hits here. And so far the bats have been a little sleepy. And Derry fouls it off. As a matter of fact, we haven't seen a hit from the Grizzlies. It was a walk, and that was it.
Yep, I think you're right.
So the furthest we've gotten is in 2 innings has been to first base.
And that was quickly nullified with the DP.
Yeah.
Infield corners are in.
He called that a ball. That
called
was
it outside?
That was a close one.
It was.
Yeah. You know, when we have these conversations, Nate, about, that one was a close one, again, umpires get a bad rap, right? Like
This is home plate umpire in baseball and softball has to be one of the hardest positions you can have.
But like, I believe, like, we're not saying, oh my God, it's one. If it's lopsided, it's one thing. If you're calling the game level,
I believe that in all sports.
Right?
It's
exactly.
Everybody's going to make decisions that are wrong, mistakes here and there. But I doubt highly that in any situation,
no one's doing anything intentionally.
Exactly, and they generally level themselves out in the long run.
Yep. So a 2-1 count to Derry. That's right down the middle.
Really good pitch.
2-2. So far, Bailey Casson has pitched very well for the Crimson Tide. No runs have been let up and 1 walk. 3 strikeouts. That's going to be a fly ball.
Dropped. So
an error by the left fielder.
Still no hits, but we'll take the base runner.
Avery McDonald, that ball was right at her. Sharply hit, don't get me wrong, but.
And dropping fast. I think she had to flip her glove from upright to underhand at the last second. That might have messed her up a little bit.
So Brooke LeClaire, the second baseman, she's batting 9 for the Grizzlies. And will they bunt here?
High. First ball.
I got to tell you, too, what a really nice team this softball team is for Goffstown. Just a great bunch of players.
Good kids.
Very respectful. And you've got a very wide, distribution, shall we say, of freshmen to seniors. And that's,
correct.
To me, that level of cohesiveness is kind of special.
I would agree. It's tough. I think tough to have that when you've got such
nice bunt.
Well,
she drops it safe. Run
and we're going first to third.
Safe there, too. Now going to second. Opportunistic Grizzlies. That's what we're going to call them.
Yeah. And
so
now you've got 2 in scoring position, no outs.
Right. So another
and
error.
the top of the lineup.
Right. So another error by the by the Crimson Tide there.
You capitalize, right? You've got to capitalize when that happens.
So 2 errors on the Crimson Tide. Now runners at second and third base. And Brad is giving – he's like our what do you call it? Brad is the public address announcer, but he is almost like that – he's got like a consultant like on your shoulder.
Okay, you can say that.
Right?
The angel or the devil, which one?
He's giving you like the feedback of like you should talk about how quickly Blue got down to make that call.
Yeah, Dave Zwicker is a pretty good umpire.
Which is very accurate.
Hopefully he never watches this because hopefully he doesn't hear that from me. But
yeah, no. So with that, while we have this little break in the action, and I don't know if we can focus in on home plate, but Tim LeClaire and Tim Gerzone, the new coaches for the Grizzlies this season, and brought to my attention that Tim Gerzone was voted top assistant coach.
Yeah, assistant coach of the year for Division I.
Assistant coach of the year for Division I softball.
And deservingly.
So O'Meara takes first pitch ball.
So there's a lot of space out there. Infield's playing in.
So I am getting
outfield's also playing relatively in.
Getting the loud environment on my Apple Watch.
So my question for you, Scott, is how much is it going to cost to replace that fence in front of the dugout when they tear it down?
I don't know, but that strike, that made me a little nervous because that thing moved pretty good.
It did.
We might have to be calling Sean Sweeney for a little bit of help here. So infield is in for the Crimson Tide. They've got a 2-0 lead on the Grizzlies. O'Meara swings underneath that one.
Big swing.
And here's another thing, right? This is where you really want to put the ball in play, okay? Force Concord. They've already made 3 errors in 3 innings, so force them to make a play.
Oh.
And that is a difficult out for
Goes down
O'Meara.
swinging.
Yeah.
So now we've got Ari Gerzone.
Ari Gerzone. And this is who I'd want in this spot, to be honest. So I don't think you're going to see a bunt situation here.
I doubt it. Not with no run on first.
So Ari Gerzone, again, kudos to her.
Corners are in, though.
Voted
Corners are in.
second team All-State. She hits it sharply to
Little
third.
dribbler, looks back.
Oh, boy.
Oh, we got a run down here.
No, she should have automatically.
Yeah, safe.
Yeah. I don't understand what that was, why she waited, you know.
As soon as the throw happened the first, we have to go.
Yeah.
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 Yep.
So now, again, we had runners at second and third with no outs. Now it's second and third, 2 outs. So a strikeout by O'Meara. And then, again, this is what I talked about with Garzone, is that, like, first pitch hitting, you know. Like, you've got a pitcher who is clearly a little rocked a little bit.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. I think she's still pitching well. I think she's a little nervous about what's behind her right now. So can't let her go out of it easily. Little low.
Ball 1 to
But
Roussel.
hard throw again.
Has an opportunity with a base hit to the outfield to bring home tying run. So big spot here by the pitcher to help her cause. And that is outside for a 2-0 count. With
now
Dana still.
I think you greenlight her in 2-0 and anything close.
I think you greenlight her no matter what.
Yeah.
I mean, she's a very capable hitter. So change up again. So
off-speed stuff. Off-speed stuff.
Pitcher's got to be careful. She almost kind of showed up the batter on that one. She kind of like pointed and like you got to be careful. You got to curb your enthusiasm, as some will say.
2-2.
2-2 count to Roussel, and Roussel struck out in the first inning. So this is a big spot for Bailey Casson with second and third with no outs. She could stop this one right here.
Oh,
and she
does.
Another changeup.
Okay.
And Concord takes care of business.
So after 3, it's 2-0 Concord?
Yep. So, again, that was a tough break for the Grizzlies. I mean, clearly an opportunity there with second and third. Not only mentioned, but it was the heart of the order.
Yep.
You know, so it's your first hitter, your
tough.
second, your third, and then you had still on deck. So, missed opportunity for the Grizzlies, and we'll head to the top of the fourth in just a sec. And we're back for the top of the fourth inning with the Crimson Tide leading 2-0. And the pitcher, Bailey Casson, who has pitched a gem so far. She's got a no-hitter, only 1 walk, and just pitched out of a tremendous jam in the bottom of the third. And she gets a hit there. So Bailey Casson hits a single to right field. And we're going to get a courtesy runner. So got to give the Crimson Tide a lot of credit here. They coming in as the 12 seed, but they're playing super tough behind great pitching by Bailey Casson, who has really shut down the Grizzlies. She's had 5 strikeouts through 3. And in steps Natalie Rowell, or Ruel.
Shows bunt?
She showed bunt. She foul tipped that. So no outs for the Crimson Tide, with Rao looking to bunt over the runner for the Crimson Tide. Fouled off again, and again, lost art the bunting.
Yeah.
Definitely. I mean, you think about it, I think only one good bunt was put down so far after on the 4 attempts by both teams.
It's tough. Tough to get that down, right?
Well,
Especially.
it's also something, honestly, that it's kind of like this hitting free
not a home run.
Oh, that looked good.
It's not a home run.
It's kind of like free throws in basketballs. I know you're a basketball guy. We have too many athletes that are looking to shoot threes, but they can't hit a free throw.
Yep.
Here, too many looking to do other things, and you got to be able to do a simple thing in softball is bunting.
Ooh, swings
and
through.
Down goes number 24, Natalie Rowell. And McDowell grounded to the third baseman, Derry, in her first at bat. That's in there for a strike.
She's the show bunt swing through.
Yep. And on deck is the leadoff hitter for Jalen Wessling, number 18. And she swings through that bunt. That'll be strike 2. So no 2 count to McDonald. Runner at first base for Concord.
Outside, and runner takes second.
She's got her. She's
Out.
done. Strike. Yeah, you got it. What a strike was thrown over
Great
second
throw.
base.
Great throw. So now we got 2 down and 1-2 count.
Right.
So momentum changer.
So McDonald with 2 strikes on her, and that'll do it.
Swinging.
So Roussel is definitely – she's keeping Goffstown in this game. The bats have to come alive at some point.
Yeah, you got to wake up.
And, again, this can happen in baseball and softball. The bats are simply not clicking.
Yeah. But I would say this: Concord's doing a great job in the circle, making it tough to hit.
I think, in my opinion, the pitcher has kept this team. She's kept them in this game.
I would agree. She's pitching a fantastic game so far.
Well, right. I mean, you got to keep in mind, there's been 3 errors in Concord. That last inning, there were 2 errors that put runners at second and third with no outs.
And good set of it.
And Casson was able to get out of that jam.
Mm-hmm. So the question is, will Goffstown capitalize at some point?
They have to. If they want to win this game, they're going to have to do it.
We're starting with our 4 spot. Dana Still will be our leadoff batter.
Starting off with Dana Still. And again, I've seen this with this Grizzlies team. Their hits seem to come in bunches.
I would agree. Last week it was almost nothing until the 6th inning, and then all of a sudden couldn't stop hitting.
So we're getting a little bit of I call it a mist at this point.
Agree. I would agree, a little bit of mist.
So Dana Still, who grounded out to third base and her first at bat, will lead off for the Grizzlies.
Let's see if the off-speed pitch is the first one. Nope.
It's low.
Throws it fast.
You are right, is that she faked out
twice, I think.
Twice.
So.
Right. So she's not afraid to throw the change up, but if you're patient, you can wait on it.
Mm-hmm.
It's a great pitch to drive.
Oh, there it is.
Yeah.
1-1.
But this is where, it's great to say, she can throw the changeup, but it's not a super easy pitch to make.
Correct. And if you make the mistake on the hits off the end of the bat.
Third base again. And down goes Still. Same thing, 5-3. And the reason why you're seeing this is because the pitcher for Concord, they're off. How do I put this? They're off balance.
Yes,
right?
They don't know what's coming.
They don't know. They do not know what's coming because she's able to pitch all of her pitches.
And she can pitch the same pitch twice in a row. There's no sequence to it, right? It's not.
Rivard struck out.
Oh, hard hit.
Crushes that one.
Out.
Home run.
Deep home run right over the number 1.
Casey Rivard with a line drive.
That might wake up the bats. Great job by Casey. Wish we would have had one duck in the pond for that. But now we're at a 1-2 game. And we are looking at Emma LeClaire with one out at bat.
So we got a 2-1 game here in the bottom of the 4th inning. And that was out of here in record speed. My goodness.
Hit hard. I think it hit the trees about 20 feet up.
And let's see if that can ignite the Goffstown bats.
Yeah, that might help us build a little bit of momentum.
Well, also a 1-run game is tough to defend. That's all I'm going to tell you. Nice pitch. Whew. But this is the beauty of Casson's pitching today, is that
it just keeps
she's
everyone on their
keeping
toes.
them off balance. So that ball's hit sharply to right field. Underneath it is Concord player, and
there's out number 2.
Out number 2. That was number 9, Ella Gray.
So now we're going to see Addie Gerzone, our shortstop, at the plate.
And she struck out in her first at bat.
Corners are in.
But notice, too, like they're way up in the box.
Yes, which, I mean, I guess if you're seeing the off-speed stuff, you kind of want to be there. But when that fastball comes, there's not a lot of time to react.
Exactly. I think it speaks to, like, I think that they are fastball hitters, this
I'd agree.
Goffstown team, by and large. So the ball is low and inside. So a 2-0 count to Addie Gerzone with Derry on deck.
Yeah, I mean, her back foot is almost even with the front of the home plate.
Yeah. Popped up, out of play.
Oh, third baseman went into the wall pretty hard. Shakes it off.
Yeah, that was Jalen Wessling. Gives a thumbs up that she's okay. Good effort there by Wessling.
Yeah, I love the hustle. 2-1 count. 2 outs.
So we got a 2-1 count to Addie Gerzone, the shortstop for Goffstown. See if she can get on base to give Derry an opportunity to.
She chokes up higher in the batter's box now.
Out of play behind us here in the press box.
2-2. Deuce is wild. 2-2-2.
Two count. And down
Swing
goes Gerzone.
All right, so little damage done.
So Goffstown cuts the lead in half with a home run.
Only hit of the ball game.
Casey Rivard, and that was, I have to say, that was one of the quickest balls to exit
line
the field.
drive.
That thing was a rocket out of here. So with that, it's a 2-1 lead, and we're heading into the top of the 5th in a couple of minutes. All right, as you head into the top of the 5th inning, and
2-1 ball game.
Yeah, leading off is number 18, the third baseman, Jalen Wessling.
Looks at a strike there. Hard pitch.
So we got a 2-1 game, a close one here in Goffstown.
Which is kind of what you want in playoffs, right? I mean, as a fan, I guess. As a neutral fan,
yes,
it makes it more exciting. You don't want to see a blowout. Soph steps on the mound.
Oh, that was a close one, but
maybe just a little
2-1 count. Did Mr. Cowett respond?
He hasn't yet. Swings 3. We got a 2-2 count here in the top of the 5th.
Nice part of it being close to Concord proximity-wise is that you got a nice crowd here for the visitors.
Even their AD made the trip down.
Nice spice. Wessling to hang in there. I'm not really a big fan of the AD for Concord, are you? Or who is that anyway?
I think it's
Steve.
Steve Largy?
Oh, I haven't. Did he come up to the press box?
He hasn't yet. He's hanging out in right field with a couple former players and coaches.
We might have to go on the ball's hit sharply to center field for a single by Wessling. And that was a nice piece of hitting by Wessling because this is what Brad, our public address announcer, was talking about. When you are struggling at the plate, you put the bat on the ball. That's all she did in that example.
Yeah, all you need to do is make a little contact. Slap on attempt. She went. First strike.
I want to see Gerzone go over to second base because that should have been
coverage, yeah.
Yeah, that should have been the rotation play there.
You don't need coverage at third, so.
That's a strike.
Called strike.
So now the bunt should be off now with an 0-2 count
That'd
to
be a risky
Marrera.
move. Swings away through the gap. O'Mara's playing shallow in left field.
So a pair of hits for Wessling and Marrera. So Rivard was in left field.
And now O'Mara's there. They just changed defensive positions, I guess.
So timeout by the Goffstown coaching staff. They're going to talk about the defensive situation here because just like in that first inning where the ball was hit sharply to the shortstop and we were not able to get the force out at third, this is where this is a very, very good timeout for the Grizzlies because we can't forget that a third of this team are freshmen.
Correct.
And sometimes that gets lost in things.
I think it might be helpful to try to get a little dryness on that hand, too, of Sophie Roussel.
So in steps Maggie Taylor, who all singled in the first inning and reached on an error. If you remember, that was an error from the shortstop. And that's a changeup. So this is a super big inning right here to see if Roussel can get out of this without any damage.
You kind of want to limit that as much as you can at this point.
You were able to cut the lead in half.
Right.
Only trail by a run. Strike 2.
Ooh.
Roussel threw a little bit of heat on that one. Taylor, she sticks out her tongue. Almost gave it like a Jordan-esque tongue wag. What does that foretell?
High.
Good pitch, though, because if anything, let her chase it.
Yep. So we're at a 1-2 count.
Right. So 1-2 count. Again, force out at first, second, or third base if you're the Grizzly defense. Outfield's playing deep. And that ball's hit. That could be a home run.
It is. 3-run shot.
A 3-run home run.
That puts
by
us at.
Maggie Taylor.
It's a tough spot. So now it's 5-1.
5-1 now. And that ball was rocketed. I thought that Still had a chance at the ball.
She looked, and then she overcommitted, came back. I was hoping she was going to get there, but just a little too far.
I think at the right, it was just too far out of
Yep, I don't think she
beyond
could
the
have reached
fence
it.
line. So Kylie Taylor steps in, and she singled and then in the first, struck out in the third, but now the bases are clean for her.
Ball, low and inside. 1-0 count.
And Roussel had a good pitch count on Taylor on that one.
Yeah.
Hit hard to short, overthrow. And then again, you go into second base. So again, this is uncharacteristic for the freshman for sure.
Got to settle her down.
Yeah.
Settle down. Just get some outs. We have a courtesy runner coming into second base.
You know, here's where you got to have a little amnesia, you know?
Right. You can't afford not to at this point.
Yeah.
Right, you've got to get yourself out of this inning, limit the damage. It's already done.
So Boldak has gotten on base in both of her at-bats. She singled in the first, and then she drew a walk in the third. With a runner at second, again, you cannot give up any more runs if you're the Grizzlies. You're down 5-1.
We only have a single out in this inning, too. Is that correct?
That's right,
So.
1 out.
You would like to see them buckle down right now. You know their bats can come alive if they get the opportunity. There's another hard hit. Dana Still makes a great catch in right field, from
that was
right
a
to left.
really good play by Still.
That was. If she doesn't make that catch, that's another run.
Right, I agree.
So now we've got 2 down.
With Ella Gray, and she struck out twice. So this was like, now you're getting to that part of the lineup again where, again,
a little softer.
Again, this doesn't take, a whole lot of analytics to determine that this team.
There you go. There's that amnesia you talked about.
That's your third out. So that's it.
There goes the inning.
Am I wrong?
I guess.
Oh, second out. I apologize.
I thought we had 1 out already.
Yeah,
My
I thought
bad.
we did too.
I thought there was an out before the home run. So now we've got 2 down.
Pitcher.
First pitch strike. We are now at a 0-1 count with 2 out. In the top of the 5th.
Yep. So Casson had to hit her last at bat. Ooh. And then she reached, she got caught out. The runner who ran for her was thrown out at second base.
That's right, trying to steal.
But again, if you're the Grizzlies, like you really can't. You don't want to go down 5 runs.
No.
Try to keep the damage to 4 here.
Fouls off to stay alive. An 0-2 count. Throw a little junk here.
And that's the thing too. Like when you have good pitching and Casson and Roussel, it comes off the bat just as quickly as it goes to.
Correct. It's easier to get those big hits.
Right. I think it's
exit velocity.
Newton's third law.
For every
With every
action, there's
a
an equal and
reaction.
opposite reaction.
Yes,
okay,
exactly.
that's how that works.
Yes.
So now runner takes third on the pass ball.
Again, small little things, but
yep. So now it's a 2-2 count with 2 outs too.
Uncharacteristic for the Grizzlies there because that ball was clearly stopped.
Mm-hmm.
Man, I don't know if I want to have a car parked right there. Whoa, Brad. Octogenarian Brad.
Protective screening in front of these
That would have
windows.
been a tough. See, I go like this. Whoop. Done. I'm safe.
I just smile.
You'll be getting dentures.
Oh, whoa. Another foul tip.
So maybe it's a changeup here.
Yeah, she's
Well, she's chasing the speed, you know.
Yep. But she might be on time for the changeup. She's behind on the fastball.
Hard to say. And Roussel's changeup.
There it is. Directly to Dennis. Still out.
Another home run.
Another home run. 2 home runs this inning. That was a 2-run shot.
I'm sorry to say, but Goffstown is in rough shape today.
Puts the score at 7-1.
Yeah. And there is your MVP if they go on to win this game.
Great job on the mound and
Yeah.
now at the plate too.
Yeah. So they pick up 5 runs here in the top of the 5th inning. Yeah.
So you got to get an out. Got to get an out, limit the damage to what it is, and then hopefully the bats wake up.
Poor Dana still has seen that fence too often.
Unless she can jump a little higher than she can right now, or she grows to 20 inches. It's not happening.
Pop up to the second baseman, LeClaire underneath.
There we go.
And that's it. But not before the damage is done. A 5 spot was put up. And the Concord Crimson Tide has kind of blown this one open, 7-1.
Doors are falling off the barn right now. But we'll be back for the bottom half of this 5th inning.
We got 3 more innings for Goffstown to manufacture at least 6 runs. All right, we are here in Goffstown.
Bottom of the 5th?
Bottom of the 5th inning, and the Grizzlies trail 7-1.
You got Sophia Derry at bat to lead off this inning.
It's
Looks at a pitch.
For a strike, right?
I think he called it a ball.
He did?
I didn't see a strike call. I thought it was a strike from here. But, again, our viewpoint's a little bit off.
Looked at the knee, so.
Yeah. That one's called a strike.
That one's a strike, okay.
The off-speed stuff again.
You got to get runners on base if you're the Grizzlies.
Yeah,
no matter how it happens.
Ducks in the pond.
Bunts, walks, doesn't matter how.
I think you're right, Scott, that you've got to work on the counts. You know, you got to get yourselves in position where the pitcher has to come to you. So now we're at a 1-2 count.
Yeah.
Pitcher's count.
Yeah. You know, the beauty of Casson today, though, is she's been able to mix it up.
Off-speed stuff fouled off. So it's still a 1-2 count?
Yeah, 1-2 count. And, you know, aside from that home run by Casey Rivar, that was the only hit for Goffstown.
Jeez.
All day long.
It's not a great way to go about winning ball games.
Ooh.
Framed it, but not called.
Well, it is a great way if you're Concord.
Well, fair.
If you're Concord,
Fair.
It's a great way.
If you're the Crimson Tide.
If you're the Crimson Tide, you're gonna ride the Bailey Casson train all the way to the semifinals. That ball's hit
Swings
well.
on that, right to the right fielder.
Right to the right fielder. So that's the first out for the Grizzlies, but a good at bat for Derry.
Got some pitches.
And again, you know, she hits that in any type of gap, it's a double, but
correct.
She hits it right at the right fielder. So
and sometimes you just don't hit the spots.
Yeah.
So we're looking at Brooke LeClaire at bat now.
Brooke LeClaire, yeah.
Swing on the first pitch.
Could drop.
Your favorite.
Oh.
Right fielder makes a great catch.
Yeah.
Calls off the second baseman just in time.
So again, it goes to my point though. You're hitting you're making this easy on the pitcher when you're
Yes. No, it's comfortable.
Yeah.
It's comfortable for her. And I think I can see both sides of it too, because I can see the psychology of swinging away, right? But there's also something about getting yourself in the spots where the count's in your favor. Inside, hard fastball.
My observation from following this team this year is that I think they're a good bunch. They're good hitters. So, for the most part, good hitters can go deep into counts and can take pitches.
Mm-hmm. So now we're at a 2-0 count. Jocelyn must be listening. You talk about taking some pitches. Outside.
Right. So now
3-0 count. You got to take all the way, right?
Oh yeah, this is what you call bat on shoulder.
Yes. Make her pitch the strike.
I don't even take it off my shoulder. It's like,
well, you got to pretend. Called
there
strike. So we're at 3-1.
It's a good hitter's count right here because she's got to throw one over.
She's got to come in. She's got to come in.
And she's got a 7-1 lead, for crying out loud at that.
Low. So we got a base runner with one down.
All right, so Ari Gerzone, please take a couple of pitches. Please.
I would not be shocked if she swings away on the first one.
I get it, but, like, she is one of the more disciplined hitters. You know what I'm saying? She doesn't strike out.
Right.
So
work the count a little bit.
I know she can go to a 3-2 count.
High.
Because I gotta get Roussel at home plate here
with a couple runners
with
on.
2 runners on. I gotta do it. So she's just got to do whatever it takes to get on. And then you got Still behind her.
I mean, that's a great place to be in the lineup.
Yeah.
Called strike. That looked inside from here, but who knows?
Well, inside, it looked low. It just looked like it was at her ankles.
So we got a 1-1 count. 1 down and a runner on first. Called strike.
All right. That's okay. I mean, like I said before, I think Gerzone is a very disciplined hitter.
Mm-hmm.
She makes contact.
We're 1-2 here.
1-2 count.
Fouls off the fastball.
Saying? That was a fastball, high fastball.
Yep.
That tempting, and she's able to foul it off.
Yep.
So, like,
now we've seen a few fastballs. We know that Caston has really good dirt.
You're going to see a change up here.
Yep.
And I like that the catcher went out and talked to her, saying, "Hey, you know, you got 2 garbage pitches to play with,
and you got a few runs to give up if you need to. You know. Oh,
there you go, change up, and Gerzone goes down swinging, but that's okay."
So after 5, we've got a 7-1 game. Let's see how we pull off this top of the half. Top half of the 6.
Interestingly, again, aside from that home run,
one hitter. Yeah, one hit with a home run. So
we'll be back for the top of the 6th. All right, and we're back to the top of the 6th inning with the Crimson Tide leading 7-1.
Avery McDonald at the plate. Shows bunt. Yet again. Takes.
So for those of you who've been anxiously waiting, we are going to have former Goffstown teacher and coach.
Administrator
Steve Largy. He's now the athletic director for Concord. He's kind of come up, and we're going to see Steve any minute now. We're going to have him jump into Nate's spot just for a second.
He's slowly making his way around the complex. It's tough for him to walk around here because he's got to say hi to everybody.
Short.
Out.
And we have a new shortstop at number 17.
Casey Rivard playing short.
Is at short.
So again, we're just moving people around on the defensive side of things.
So now Jalen Westling, the third baseman, comes in, and she scored after singling in that big
strike
5th inning. So now I see he's chewing the fat with Principal McBride.
Ah.
No, I don't want McBride at all. But I don't want any short-term principal.
Whoa, short-term.
Short-timer.
Speaking of short-timers, Scott.
What? Shush. Number 18, Westlake is at the plate. That's a ball.
Does it count full?
No.
I have no idea where we're at.
I don't even think it is. No. Ask the scoreboard operator.
Who is that?
Little bit high. Just a bit high. So, again, defensive substitution. You got Casey Rivard at shortstop. Fouled off onto the upper deck roof.
Any idea what our count is?
I know she's got 2 strikes.
It looks like it's a 2-2 count.
Another one.
What do you think the softball budget is? Not the entire program, just the budget for softballs in themselves.
Well, you got to keep in mind that we do have ladders that go up there, so they do get collected. It's not like they don't.
They're not. It's not like a baseball situation. Caught
by Boucher. Nice job.
It's not like Lions Field when the balls flow down to Glen Lake.
No.
Okay.
No.
Up here he is. He made his way.
All right.
Finally.
It took him a little while, but we're going to get Steve Largy on the mic here. So we want to welcome Concord Athletic Director Steve Largy, Goffstown alum, up to the press box. And Steve, welcome. What a great performance so far by the Crimson Tide. They're just executing on all levels.
Yeah, so far they've been playing really well. We had a great win at Winnacunnet. First of all, Scott, it's great to be back.
Good to see you, yeah.
It's great to be back. It's good to see all of the familiar faces, and good to be back in Grizzly Land for sure. But, yeah, this is a good squad. They've great game at Winnacunnet. They've started to hit their
back
stride.
To the pitcher, Roussel, and that will do it. A 1-2-3 inning as we head into the bottom of the 6th. But we're going to talk with Steve as we go through this one. So, Steve, how did your first year go as AD?
Still going.
You survived.
They seem to be intent on making this a longer year for me as an AD, which is great. It's wonderful, Scott.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like
we miss you. I hope you know that. I mean, there's one of the few people. What?
I said that's
There's a lot of people that I don't like in Goffstown, and you're not one of them. No, I'm only kidding.
Some of those people might be watching this broadcast.
In all sincerity, Steve, I think you're one of the good folks who's come through Goffstown, period. And family is good, I hope, and the girls are.
Family's great.
Yeah.
They're getting big. Girls are, getting older. My daughter just won her re-election bid for student council.
Okay.
6th grade student council. So, it was
excellent.
Yeah. So she's doing well. My other daughter, all kinds of sports, and wife's doing good. Shorter commute from Bow to Concord a little bit. But it's been great.
Yeah.
It's been like being an athletic director You get a little bit of fun sprinkled into your day. Being a dean of students,
not so much.
As much of
not
the fun.
Not so much.
Yeah.
All right, so Roussel will lead off in the bottom of the 6th inning with the Grizzlies trailing 7-1, and Roussel takes a strike. And as we were saying with Nate, just a great pitching performance by Bailey Casson today. Just mixing up her pitches. She's really brought her A game today.
She's outstanding, and I mean she's doing it. In both games in the playoffs, she's doing it on the mound, and she's doing it at the plate.
Yeah, she hit a home run, so
she's helping herself out, which is great. She's a great team player, great kid overall. So we've had a lot of young kids step up this year.
And Roussel will get a single, and quickly we'll probably get a pinch runner for Roussel. So, Steve, Nate is itching to get back in here because this is part of his contract. I mean, he actually makes money doing this, so
we got to get him back.
But we got to get him back in. And again, you two guys,
we go way back.
I know. Listen, I used to be part of it. So.
I was looking for him. I heard he was riding a clown bike up at near the soccer field. Yeah, so I was on the lookout for somebody. It was, yeah. Our former basketball player, Ava Vaughn, said that Bracey was somewhere riding a clown bike.
Oh,
which he's known to do.
All
right. The classroom, in the hallways.
So number 4, Gabby Gerzone, right? She's at first base. She's running for Roussel.
All right.
And number 2 is at bat. That will be Dana Still.
I'm getting out of the.
All right.
Good
seeing you, Steve.
Before I bring in
that pitch
more
is
bad
in
luck.
there for a strike to Still. One of the good guys, Steve Largy for sure. Oh, Still again. It's weird because it's not as if, I can't really see the arm angle for Casa, but she has totally faked out the Goffstown lineup with that changeup today. And a quick throw over to first, but not in time as Gerzone dusts herself off. Let's see if Still can put something together here. That pitch is high.
Once the year's over.
Yeah, let's catch up. And I'm back, Scott.
All right.
I know you missed me.
And Still goes down swinging.
What a swing, though. She's got a big swing.
She does.
Just got to make contact.
So here comes Rivard, who homered for the only hit and the only.
No. We have 2 hits now.
Oh, we have 2. That's right.
We doubled up our hits.
You're right. That last hit. So Rivard, who hit a rocket shot to center field for the Grizzlies' sole run today. Can she add to the magic? And she fouls it off. Check swing. Yeah.
Yeah, she's pitching a gem today.
She is. I mean,
just
see.
0-2 count.
I think some of these are a little low.
If they're consistent on both sides.
Yeah, I mean, I guess he's calling them at the knees. There's no doubt. But so 2 strikes to Rivard.
Ooh. Inside that time?
Yeah, it must have been. I mean, hard one to lay off.
I think it was the same height as the other two.
It seemed like it, but.
So we're at 1 and 2?
But you got to give, the catcher who's calling this game and the pitcher a lot of credit because.
Foul
check.
Tip.
Yep.
That is a.
I tell you, this was the first season that I've really watched. I've watched more softball this season than the last 6 combined.
Okay.
And I don't think that I have seen a pitcher throw better changeups than I have today.
Oh, they are unable to figure out what to do on that, right?
But it's just like the execution of the changeup has been spectacular.
High fly ball.
Second baseman is under it, called up by the
center
fielder, and that will
takes
do it.
So After 6? After 5? After 6?
After 6.
After 6, it is 7-1 tied. Last inning coming up.
So in terms of strikeouts, she has had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 strikeouts.
Wow.
Yep.
Impressive.
10 Ks. Yeah.
And doing it on the plate, too.
Yeah, so we're going to talk through this one as we head into the top of the 7th inning with the Crimson Tide leading 7-1. And really, I think you got to give credit to this Concord team. I mean, they're
executing well.
Yes, and I think that's a perfect term. Executed well.
Right.
They struggled in that one inning where they had 3 errors in one inning.
But they got out of it on
But
skates,
they got out of it, and they got out of it based upon the pitching performance by Casson. So
it was just brilliant today.
So it's tough to say. Like sometimes when you get into playoff situations, your senior leadership carries you through. But in this situation, you've got a team that has just as many freshmen as it does.
That's true.
Or I
That's
should say
true.
that there's more.
But they have a lot of freshmen that are playing big roles
in key roles.
Yes.
Right.
So you still have
Right.
5 seniors in the field though. So
yeah. So Maggie Taylor, who scored on that home run. That was a grand slam home run, was it not?
I think it was a 3-run shot.
3-run. I'm sorry, 3-run shot. Yeah.
The first one was 3-run. The second one was a 2.
So it was Maggie who had the home run. Yes.
Okay.
Yep. Maggie had the home run, and then sister was able to get on and score as well. But
so you got to buckle down here, hope for a 1-2-3 inning, and then. Hopefully your bats can come alive.
And then you got to go rally cap central.
Pray for some magic.
Yeah.
Looks at a high pitch.
So I'm trying something new on the grill tonight.
Oh, what's that?
What?
Ooh, called strike.
So I'm going to try a chicken spinach feta burger. I'm making them.
That sounds good.
Yeah.
Juicy.
I'm going to try it.
Chicken.
Pop up.
It's
So
going to be out
I
of
bought
play.
ground chicken.
Okay.
And I'm going to put, chopped spinach, put some feta, spices in it.
Mm-hmm.
And
What are you going to have as a side?
that's not my job. I'm just worried about the protein.
I think we got a foul off the toe. I'm going to walk that one off.
Ooh. Listen, we might be struggling with the bats today, but we are not struggling with the stomachs or the ability to think about food, at least. So number 13 with Maggie Taylor. And she draws a walk.
Takes a walk.
The problem that I find with this chicken patty burger thingy, right, is that you got to be super careful. It's
Consistency of it,
no,
yeah,
it sticks.
yeah.
So it's so damn lean.
As soon as you start grilling it, like how do you get
got
the
it.
flipping?
So it's easier sometimes to do it in the oven or.
Okay.
But
Could you put like a non-stick grill pan thing on top of the grill?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I have one of those. I might
Okay.
try that actually. It's a good idea.
You know what I've been on the grill a lot? Pizza stone on the grill.
Yes.
Let that thing.
And we got a fly ball to center.
Dead center. Warning track
Underneath
catch.
it is Gerzone at the wall.
So, yeah,
or
pizza
the
stone.
fence.
Pizza
Yes.
stone on the grill. Let it heat up for like good 20, 30 minutes. But, man.
So here's the
So
thing,
good.
right?
So good.
I got the pizza stone going, right? So someone said, try the pizza steel, right?
I've heard that. I haven't tried a
I
pizza
bought
steel.
it. I think the stone's better.
I just don't understand because like you have the steel in the oven, right? That's what the oven rack is,
Ball
or
one.
the pan. And now you go to a stone. Now they're going back to the other. They're just trying to get you to buy more stuff. I think that's all it is.
So I've got,
But I've been dying to try one of those outdoor pizza ovens. You know the.
yes.
But then I tried the grill. I was like, maybe I don't need.
sharply hit the short. Rivard.
Gets you out.
Yeah, it was weird because like She was going to take it herself.
And then last
and then
second.
she almost could have turned a double play.
I would think
on
if she
that
took it
one.
herself, she might have had a chance. Would have been real close.
It's hard to say, but a nice, nonetheless, that was a rocket shot.
That was hard hit. A hard hit.
For 2 outs.
Mm-hmm. All right, so we've got a pinch hitter, number 12, who is Anna Leon.
Anna Leon. Leon. Anna Leon. Anna Leon.
Ooh. So we're getting pictures of it.
Yeah.
It looks custom. It looks custom made.
Jeff does
pizza
not
oven.
screw around. Okay. Look at
I
this
love
guy.
that crust looks amazing. 60 seconds. That's what I'm talking about. Now you got like 2 hours to heat that thing up, but 60 seconds to cook it.
The only thing is Jeff got a 6.8 by Portnoy. That was the only bad downside to it. They said that
the fact that Portnoy came though.
Ooh, that's a strike. The fact that Portnoy came to Goffstown was kind of miraculous.
Yeah.
But
he must have heard him about the Instagram or something.
I think we were all hoping and praying that Jeff would get in the 7s, but I think
keep him a secret. That is a foul ball.
I think the issue was that he went with like that full fat like mozzarella cheese. If he went with the part skim, low fat.
I think you have to go all in.
Oh.
It's not going to be healthy either way, so you might as well just commit.
That is a ball. Jeff's been trying the burrata now on the pizza, which is interesting. But burrata is more of a finishing cheese.
Oh, hard hit right to
second. And that will do it. So this is it for the Grizzlies season.
Last
they trail
chance.
7-1.
Can you make a little magic happen here in the bottom of the 7th?
Can this happen? I will say this, is that I see smiles on some of the team, not so much on all of them. So,
no. The beautiful part about baseball and softball is that it's never over.
Yeah.
Until it's over.
It's never over. Rally caps.
Yeah.
And here's the other kicker, too, right, is that if you're able to put up 2 or 3 runs, like, do you realize how much pressure it is on the pitcher now?
Finish that out?
To feel like that to be perfect.
Yep. Oh, I think we have a new pitcher coming in.
No.
No, it's not.
No, that would make no sense. Yeah. So
that
she
was
gave up
my mistake.
3 to Timber to win a Connet and 1 here. So sometimes you come up against a buzzsaw, man. Like, so Gerzone.
So it's on the defensive side.
Yeah,
we have 9 back in for 12.
Addie Gerzone will lead off, and then Derry, and then Brooke LeClaire. So it's 7, 8, 9 that will lead off.
Gotta have faith.
Yeah.
Gotta have faith. And you know what? I think back to do the little things, because you're not going to get 6 runs in a single at bat.
You know, in regards to the outcome for the Grizzlies here, great season, no doubt about it. Don't want to kind of, write the epitaph just yet, but
hard
it's a pop
hit
up to left field and
stays in play out.
So 2 more outs for Concord to advance. But again, let's talk a little bit about this season and talk about the seniors who are graduating, moving on to their next chapter of their lives.
I think a special crew you got out there.
And it's a tough. Listen, it's always tough, to not be victorious in your final home game.
Only one team gets the end of the season with a win.
Yep.
So
Derry is up now. And
high.
This is what I was talking about, though. Like, sometimes you get a little overzealous.
Yep. So we've got a 1-0 count with 1 out, bottom of the 7th, and a little bit of work to do to get back in this one.
Oh, yeah, especially now with 1 out.
Yep. Off-speed stuff in for a strike. Caught looking.
The thing is that I've been watching her. You kind of know when the off-speed is. This is
a little bit of a tell.
I know it's been magnificent, but the arm slows down big time.
A little bit of a read.
Yeah.
A little bit of a read.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we got a 2-1 count.
Yeah.
Swing.
That's going to drop.
Fly ball.
Oh,
center
what a catch
fielder.
by center field.
So you're down to 1 out. 1 out for the
Maggie
season.
Taylor with a spectacular catch in center field with 2 outs now. Grizzlies down to the last out with Brooke LeClaire up. And I tell you, with 2 outs now, 7-1, it's inevitable. And when I look at the players of this game, Bailey Casson, no doubt, is our
100%.
MVP of this game. But a runner-up, in my opinion, would be Maggie Taylor, the center
She's
fielder.
played
who made
really
that great.
well in the field, but like impressive at the plate today.
Right, she's gotten on at every at bat.
Did she start things off with a hard hit up the middle in the first inning?
She did.
So she kind of opened the bleeding up.
What I'm trying to say is it was a walk, and then she got a single.
Okay.
And then she reached on that error in the third, and then hit a 3-run home run.
Yeah,
in the fifth.
that's not a bad day in the office.
She's 2 for 3, home run, and that is a foul ball.
All right.
But I like the at bat there by LeClaire. Aggressive. So speaking of LeClaire, we want to thank Tim LeClaire, and
Great
I
job.
also want to
Great job this season.
I also want to thank his wife Lynn, who is part of the Booster Clubs here, Booster Club, and not only a super nice person, but just the amount of work that she does every day to make this program what it is.
Really elevate that experience for the athletes.
And just very, just a great family overall. And that's high. There's so much of a supporting cast at Goffstown softball in terms of all the parents who get involved, the Booster Club, et cetera. So, and that's what is important for any type of program.
Correct. No, it's all about the supporting characters.
That ball's hit
up the middle. Could be a base hit. So we stay alive. Back to the top of the order for Jocelyn O'Meara.
Rally caps. So O'Meara reached on a walk in her first at bat, struck out. And then she walked again.
Okay. So two touches to the first base.
Right.
But 0 for 1 on the day.
So 2 outs here in the bottom of the 7th inning. Again, kind of all but inevitable here. But let's see if Goffstown can keep it going.
Called strike.
And but I don't like that one because O'Meara kind of stepped back on that one. And if you're a hitter, you're not stepping back out of anything. You got to be aggressive.
Called ball low and outside. So we got a 1-1 count. 2 outs, bottom of the 7th. And again, runner on first, but we got a 7-1 game for Concord. So a little bit of work.
Big swing.
Strike 2.
She is being set up for a changeup like you would not believe. So we'll that would be very befitting for Casson to throw an off-speed pitch here to end it.
Would not be a shock. There it is.
And that ball's a number.
Caught. Great job by the shortstop, and that's your ball game.
And Concord will advance on a statement game, a 7-1 statement game, and they're going to head and play Londonderry.
All right, good. Best of luck to them in the future.
So with that, Nate, I want to thank you.
Thanks for having me today.
For calling this game with me. And let's talk a little bit about this Goffstown team as, again, they've got a lot of upside in terms of they're going to lose, obviously, a stud pitcher in Roussel.
And some great fielders and bats.
Right.
They have so much young talent out there.
They've got a lot of young talent. And this is what you're going to hope for is that this young talent can hopefully, take this defeat and learn from it.
Yes. And, I think the hard part of that is it's a long off season right between. So you start to forget things.
Yeah.
But I do feel like our softball program does a great job of just staying with it.
And you look at, I'll give you a player who didn't play a ton this year, Finley Heath.
absolute beast of an athlete.
She is a great athlete. So it's like you're losing, but if these younger players can develop to grow
Correct.
and execute on other things, this is going to be a Goffstown team that's going to, be in this position again. So
I would agree. I would agree.
So with that, I want to thank everyone at GTV, especially Emily and Jen in the studio, Jeff, our cameraman. I think Adon was out there before. So we can't do these broadcasts without the volunteers and folks at Goffstown Television. Also want to thank our public address announcer, Brad Parkhurst, who's been doing this for a long, long, long time. And again, it's always fun being a part of Goffstown Athletics. So we're going to sign off here for our final softball game of the year. Wishing everyone a joyous summer.
Indeed. Hopefully it doesn't rain as much. Maybe be a little bit warmer.
Exactly. So lastly, I'm going to sign off. I want to wish all of the seniors here and all the seniors in Goffstown all across the state best of luck in their futures.
Agreed.
Take care, everyone. Have a great day.